And he likes the Berlanga fight because they're two guys that will come face on and have a war with him. Do you know what I mean? And he likes those kind of fights. He doesn't like...
Two fighters, one ring, and millions of people watching. This could be the biggest fight of the decade. Terence Crawford is a champion in 4 weight classes, famous for his sharp skills and smart fighting style. He will face Canelo Alvarez.
Crawford, the biggest fight in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing.
It's the kind of fight that keeps boxing fans on the edge of their seats. But what if the real action has already happened in secret? There are rumors of leaked sparring footage between these legends.
See, he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different.
The excitement is growing, and rumors are getting louder. Insiders say this fight could happen as soon as September, possibly in Las Vegas, the city of big lights and legendary boxing matches. Reports say negotiations are getting serious, and while fans are excited, not everyone in the boxing world agrees. Some experts, like well-known coach Abel Sanchez, think the fight is a bad idea. Sanchez, who trained middleweight star Gennady Golovkin, didn't hold back. "It's not a real fight," he said in an interview. Words are surprising, especially since Crawford recently dominated Errol Spence Jr. to become the undisputed welterweight champion. But Sanchez has a simple reason.
You know, being that you obviously, again, appealing Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Who heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford, stand up, pound for pound.
Let's talk numbers. Crawford started his career in the lighter weight classes, beginning at lightweight and moving up to super welterweight. Meanwhile, Canelo has gotten bigger over the years, winning titles in middleweight, super middleweight, and even light heavyweight. That's a lot of extra size and power for Crawford to handle. Sanchez didn't hold back. Crawford hasn't changed. He's the same fighter he was at 135 and 147. Sure, he's great, but he hasn't grown enough to handle a powerhouse like Canelo at higher weights, he said. It's a harsh opinion, but it raises a fair point. Canelo has clearly evolved, adjusting his style to each new weight class while still keeping his signature skills.
The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
Then there's the question of power. Sanchez pointed out that while Crawford is a technical genius, his knockouts aren't as brutal as Canelo's. Crawford isn't destroying everyone. He beat Errol Spence, but Spence wasn't the same fighter anymore. Canelo, on the other hand, is knocking out almost everyone he faces. It's a different level of power, he said. Despite the doubts, there's no denying this fight would be huge. It's a guaranteed moneymaker. Crawford's sharp skills versus Canelo's raw strength is the kind of matchup fans love, whether in Vegas or...
Terence Crawford calling out Canelo.
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was...
Sure, it will sell tickets, but is it a fair fight? No, Sanchez said bluntly. It wouldn't be the first time boxing put on a fight that felt more like entertainment than true competition. Think Mayweather versus McGregor. It was exciting, but not really a close matchup. Still, Crawford isn't the type to back down from challenges. His journey through different weight classes has proven his skill and adaptability. When he faced Errol Spence Jr., many doubted if he could handle the size and strength of a natural welterweight.
Bivol fight. You can say who you think is going to win. You can't say like, oh man, I'm surprised the Bivol won, or I'm surprised the Beterbiev won. You're like, man, that's a damn good fight. So-and-so won. So kind of how I feel about the David and Canelo fight, like who had the best camp, who has the best game.
But Crawford silenced the critics in spectacular fashion, outboxing and overpowering Spence to earn a dominant stoppage victory. And yet, Canelo is a completely different challenge. the Mexican superstar has faced bigger, harder-hitting opponents and still come out on top. Whether it was his battles with Gennady Golovkin, his dominant win over Parn Smith, or his move up to light heavyweight to defeat Sergey Kovalev, Canelo has repeatedly proven that he thrives against the odds. But here's the wild card. Rumors suggest that Crawford and Canelo may have already sparred in a private gym session. If true, this could give a glimpse into how their styles match up. Did Crawford's precision catch Canelo off guard? Or did Canelo's power make Crawford think twice about moving up in weight? So far, nothing official has surfaced, but the speculation continues. Just the thought of it has fans analyzing every detail. Crawford's camp is staying quiet, but some insiders claim he held his own, landing fast and accurate combinations. Others, however, say Canelo's brutal body shots, the kind he's famous for, left Crawford struggling to respond. If the leaked video is real, it's only making the fight even more exciting. What was already an intriguing matchup has now become a must-see event, with both fighters putting their legacies on the line. Of course, timing is key. Canelo has other challenges. Challenges to handle first, including Cuban fighter William Skull, who many see as a warm-up opponent. Meanwhile, Crawford has options at super welterweight, but none as big or career-defining as facing Canelo. Promoter Eddie Hearn believes September in Las Vegas is the perfect time and place. Keeping with boxing's tradition of hosting massive fights under the bright lights of Sin City, of course I'd beat him. There's no doubt in my mind that I can beat anyone I step in the ring with, Terence Crawford said confidently when asked about fighting Canelo Alvarez. The undefeated champion doesn't seem to fear the size, weight, and power differences between him and the Mexican superstar. But how realistic is his confidence? And does it even matter, considering the challenges?
I'll tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say, he hasn't fought nobody, or everybody that he fought was a no-name. But I'm going to tell you like this, what Crawford said. Well, there was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Apparently no rehydration clause, am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man.
In making this fight happen. Crawford understands the stakes. He knows Canelo isn't just another opponent. He's a global superstar and one of boxing's biggest moneymakers. But Crawford believes this fight would be good for both of them, not just financially, but for their legacies. We're both giving up something, but we're both gaining something at the same time, Crawford told TMZ Sports. Interview 9. Still, Crawford makes it clear that the decision is up to Canelo. Canelo has his own plan, he admitted, almost accepting that Canelo might choose other fights instead. And it's true, Canelo has plenty of options. Fighters like David Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, Jaron...
There's also
and even Diego Pacheco all make more sense for him financially. Meanwhile, despite his dominance, Crawford doesn't have the same pay-per-view appeal that Canelo relies on. Promoter Eddie Hearn even suggested that Crawford might retire if the Canelo fight doesn't happen. It's a bold statement, but it highlights the tough situation Crawford is in. If he waits too long for Canelo, he risks being forgotten. Boxing rewards active fighters, and Crawford knows.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if
that. But with his recent inactivity and his strong focus on fighting Canelo, he's in a risky position. There's also the issue of fighting style. Crawford isn't known for exciting all-out wars in the ring. Like Mayweather, he focuses on defense, patience, and strategy rather than aggressive brawling. While this approach is effective, it doesn't always win over casual fans. His recent fight against Israil Madrimov is a good example. Fans booed, critics weren't impressed, and the match left more questions than answers. Some even believe Crawford should give Madrimov a rematch to clear up any doubts about the decision. Interview 11. Canelo, on the other hand, has built his career on excitement. Whether it's his devastating knockouts or his willingness to fight dangerous opponents in multiple weight classes, he has proven himself as a fighter fans love to watch. If Crawford versus Canelo happens, Crawford will likely use the same strategy that Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol used to beat Canelo: jab, move, land quick shots, and clinch. It's an effective game plan, but it might take away the explosive action fans expect from such a big fight. Crawford is confident the fight would be exciting. "It won't be like any other fight he's had recently," he said. Whether that's true depends.
The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford. Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
That'll work. If yeah, you're in. So if the number
depends on how much risk Crawford is willing to take. Will he go toe-to-toe with Canelo, or will he play it safe with a hit-and-move strategy? Only time will tell. One major obstacle is the fight location. Crawford rejected the idea of fighting at the 18,600-seat Sphere in Las Vegas, saying it's not big enough. Instead, he hinted at the possibility of staging the fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where boxing's newest financial backer, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, has been funding massive events. However, even that seems unlikely unless Canelo's huge asking price is met. Crawford seems to understand the challenges, but remains hopeful. "I would hope it would be somewhere that benefits both sides," he said diplomatically. Crawford's belief that he can beat Canelo isn't just about confidence. It's about making a statement. By publicly calling out the Mexican superstar, he's putting pressure on Canelo to respond. But the reality is, Canelo doesn't need Crawford. He can make more money fighting other opponents and has no urgency to prove himself against a smaller fighter who, while talented, doesn't bring the same excitement or financial appeal. So where does that leave Crawford? If he truly wants this fight, he might need a smarter approach. Staying active is key. Fighting 3 or 4 times a year, as some suggest, would keep his name in the spotlight and build momentum. Moving up to 168 lbs and taking on top contenders could also help his case. Facing top contenders like David.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.